All right, it says we are live. I'm going to give it a minute just to make sure we're all caught up and everything's working like it should. Always have that lovely little delay, but good morning or good afternoon to everybody, depending on where you're located. There it is. Okay, it was a little bit slow on me today, and that's off for just a second. All right. Well, hope everyone is having a great week so far. I feel like after a couple of days, I've kind of sort of recovered a little bit from my jet lag. If you watched on Instagram, you might know that Leah and I traveled to Ohio to attend Simon Says Create. So we just got back not that long ago, actually Sunday late afternoon for me, and then got right up bright and early and started work again yesterday. So Tiffany, lovely to meet you too. I was gonna say, I bet you are still recovering as well. I was gonna say that was a whirlwind weekend. We had a lot of fun, worked hard, made a lot of cards with people, met a lot of people, and then had a nice long travel day home. And then I'm getting ready to take off for vacation again tonight. So it's been a little bit of a whirlwind of about 48 hours home before I take off again. So, all right, and there we are. I see Leah in the comments. If anyone else is with us today that happened to see us and meet us, there I just see Karen just commented on there. Let us know if you were there and saw us, then we can kind of connect those faces to the names on there. So we would love if you did that. I know not everyone did, but a lot of people said they watched us on our weekly YouTube lives. So love to wave a hello to anyone that we happen to meet and see there this year. All right, so a couple things. We're going to jump in here really soon because we've got some hot foiling and, all the things with the cards. So I want to get started on some of that. But a couple things first. Goodness, I feel like I'm all rusty on this. It's only been a couple weeks. Everything I'm using is linked in the video description. We do that so that it's easy to find what we're using. I usually try and kind of show it or explain it as we go along, but just in case we miss it, feel free to refer to that at the bottom. I will also do my best to watch the comments for any questions along the way. I do often miss those once I start crafting, but you'll notice the Pinkfresh studio name. My partner in crime, Leah, is behind that today, and she does a great job of catching anything I miss. If somehow, for some reason, I almost spilled my tea, both of us miss it. I promise we're not ignoring you. We probably just missed it as the comments went by, or we're busy answering something else. So feel free to ask again, and we should catch it on the second go around. Also, if you have not joined us live before, please let us know in the comments. We love to wave hello and welcome you. I'm going to say a nice big welcome now in case I miss those when I start crafting. And also, if you're new, we give away a $15 gift card for every one of these lives. Leah will pick that at the end and announce it in the comments, and I'll announce it as well. The ways you can enter for that is just what everyone's doing, chatting in the comments and asking questions, answering someone else's questions if you know the answer. Just enjoy the chat and enjoy visiting with everybody. And then another way you can enter is by sharing this video. You can grab a link and share it on your own social media in a message to a friend. If you're part of a crafty group and you know it's allowed in the rules, you can post the link there. Then pop back over here and leave us a little comment letting us know you did that so we know, and that's an additional entry. And then one final thing that we really appreciate is if you hit that thumbs up button. It's not necessarily an entry for the giveaway. It just kind of helps more people find us, both now while we're live and also on the replay. So if you're enjoying, please go ahead and click that. All right, I'm going to check a few of the comments. I see Susie, we did get to meet you. That was fun. Let's see, who else? Someone Bellingham, Washington, Candy. Yes, you are very close to me. I head up there a lot. And hi from Scotland. You are not very close to me, but I would love to visit there someday. And Tammy, welcome. She said she's a newbie. And Romaine, this is her first time live as well. And Jana, this is her first time. So we have 3 right in a row that are new. Welcome, and we're so glad that you're here and joining us. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera around. Bear with me just a minute. I need to move my tea out of the way so I don't spill that while we start. And we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn my hot foil machine back on. I did get it preheated. It needs to finish getting ready. All right. So we are going to use the previously released, it's our most recent release, the Joyful Day set. I'm going to use the hot foil set mainly, although I may use the stamp set for sentiments. I haven't fully decided yet, but we're going to go ahead and start by hot foiling this. And then I've got some fun colors picked out to go ahead and play with. I think I'm going to go ahead and do solid hot foiling for this one as well today, mostly because I might use it for the sentiments. So, and I've got a little bit of other stuff kind of pre-done in advance, so that might save us a little bit of time. Julie, I'm heading with my daughters. Leah just answered on there, heading to Disney World in Florida. So it should be a fun trip. We're just gonna go vacation. It's been a little while since we've done that. All right, I'm going to set this on here. We're gonna set it a bit of an angle. So I'm gonna foil both of the sentiments because I haven't decided yet which one I might want to use. And that looks, actually, will that? Let me see here. Snuggle those in a little closer. So I want to make sure that my sentiments will fit there. All right. And I'll get I'm using the Satin Metallics variety pack. I'm using kind of decided to go with more the coppery dark tone today. I just kind of looked like so. I haven't used that one all the time, so oops. All right. Narissa, once you get started on hot foiling, I can promise it's very, very addicting. You will love it. All right, let me grab, just so I have it out, I'm gonna grab my solid hot foil plate, so I'm ready to go with that. And I did preheat my foil machine, but I turned it off so it didn't turn itself off. So it's just needing a moment to finish reheating. So while oh, and there it is. As soon as I said it, I knew it would do it as soon as I said it. I'm just gonna give you a little preview of the ink colors I picked for today. I decided, let's see. Hilton Head. Oh, fun, Donna, have a good vacation. And then Roxanne, I know, when we booked it, we were hoping it wouldn't be. We're getting ready to swelter. Coming from Washington State, we're gonna survive it. I know it's gonna be hot, but I'm not gonna let that spoil it. We got some little single-use instant ice packs that we're gonna pack along with us. And if it gets too hot in the middle of the day, we'll just head back to our hotel for a little while to cool off or hide indoors somewhere. And I'm okay with that. And Audrey, yes, you could easily heat emboss this instead if you aren't into hot foiling. And that's one of the things I love about having the options with these things is we have that ability. All right, I think this is almost hot, and there it is. The light just turned off, so we're ready to go. Yes, to staying hydrated for sure. All right, let me get my die cut machine up here. I'm gonna slide this off out of the way a little bit. And we're gonna pop this loose. I'm gonna get my foil laid down on the panel. And then put my plates on, and then we'll run this through. And I do see Lee already answered that question, but Candy, yes, we started moving to hot foil plates, away from hot foil plates and to press plates because they foil beautifully and you get a 2-for-1 thing on there, which is kind of nice. Okay. My phone was ringing in my pocket, so I needed to turn that off so it would keep going. All right, I'm gonna, before I peel that off, I know I'm torturing you all, making you wait for that magic reveal. But since I'm gonna do the solid hot foiling, I wanna get my plates all reheating and those cooling off. All right, and I see my Celebrate got a little close to the edge, so I might be okay to, actually, I've still got enough space. And that, as we were just talking about how great the press plates foil, look at how perfect and beautiful that image is. That beautiful coppery foil. And part of why I'm doing the solid hot foiling is I might want to use the reverse foil for the sentiments. So I'm kind of particularly excited about that when we get on here. And with that in mind, since I'm going to ink blend on here, I'm going to carefully trim off my sentiments because I don't want to risk ink blending over the top of them and ruining those. So I'm just going to make that not as beautiful for right now, but when we start ink blending, that way I won't have to worry about how that goes on there. And then the fun thing will be trying to figure out how to get these lined up on there because I haven't paid too much attention. All right. This will help because I did this at such a wonky angle. I want to make sure that I have. There we go. So I've got that first stencil lined up there, and that will help give me a reference point. I'm just going to tape that down so that I'm ready to start stenciling as soon as we do our solid hot foiling. But since I already went to the work of finding out where that lines up, I don't want to lose that spot. Okay. All right, set that aside. My plate is heating. I'm going to grab, I need to trim my panel real quick. I'll be right back. There we go. I just needed another panel of cardstock there. And these have completely cooled, so I'm going to put them away. One of the beauties of a glass mat, it does a great job of cooling those plates down. Put this out of the way and get my die cut machine up here. All right, while I wait for that to heat, I missed a bunch of comments. All right. Okay. I don't think I missed anything important. So if I missed a comment that someone needed to get through to me, leave that again if there was a question. All right, I'm gonna move this a little bit out of the way. We're gonna pop this loose. Gonna get that. I think I'm actually gonna work more on getting the bottom one with the solid foil. Okay. Every now and then, some of these satin foils I've noticed want to do that little curling up thing. I think I got it okay there, but I don't know why. They don't do it just with the normal foiling, but a little bit on the solid foil plate. Okay, let's see. Actually, usually I go backwards and I use a shim, but we'll just see how this worked. I was feeling a bit discombobulated. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to run that through and see if I can catch that little part that wasn't on the solid foil plate. Let's see if that'll work. It'll be like a little experiment. Actually, that looks like that worked okay. Let's see. Look at that. So that little bit that didn't fit on that first foiling, I just slipped it up and ran it through again. And it wasn't like absolutely perfect over there, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to trim that off anyway. So I didn't even reheat it to do that. So if you really wanted to do that, you might want to reheat if it was a bigger piece or anything. But I just see Catherine asking if they'll make a bigger one. You know, I think cost effective wise, we could go a little bit larger, but just that added size and weight made it a lot more expensive. So we kind of opted not to do that. And what plate are you? Leah, to be fair, I never thought of it either. I just looked at it and went, hey, I wonder if that would work. So this is our solid hot foil plate. There are a few of them out on the market, but we were the first ones to come out with it and invent it. The idea actually came after one of these lives. But what it allows you to do is take your leftover foil that has the reverse image, and it's just one big solid hot foil plate. So when you run it through, you get a reverse image. So all the part that's foiled on the original one is white and vice versa. And Roxanne, yeah, I don't think a 5x7 would fit on there. I don't think it's that big. I'd have to look and see. But yeah, so there's a way to kind of make it stretch a little bit longer. So Yes, Candy, we do that. The reason we do that is if you put everything on, when you pull your plate off of your hot foil, it can kind of shift a little bit. So we do that. That way it's easier to run it through and not have anything move and get that double foiling. All right, I'm gonna set this out of the way so it can cool for now. And I think this is almost cooled down. I love that glass mat because even though the solid foil plate is a really big piece of metal, it cools so quickly. The glass mat just diffuses that heat so nice and quickly. All right, and I've got this started off taped down. So we're gonna move this aside. We'll die cut everything at the same time. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So for now, let's grab our ink stand. And I'm just kind of doing some random fun bright colors. So I'm just gonna pick a color. We're just gonna go through them. There's no rhyme or reason or anything. If you look at the packaging on the back, I always love that for a reference. And it just kind of has some bright, fun colors. So I'm not gonna mix and match. I'm just gonna kind of use a fresh, bright, happy color combo. All right. And I'm starting with Mimosa. Elizabeth, yes, the solid foil plate is definitely kind of a staple if you're into hot foiling. I know we've been begging for a larger hot foil machine for a while. We've kind of thought that would be a fun thing to have. So especially wanted it for being able to do like slimline. But I've not heard of it. Like I said, it's something I've loved the idea of and wanted to wish for, but ooh, I got nice and juicy on my blending brush there. That's okay though. I'm kind of going for a little bit of a bold, at least at the base of these. I want to kind of blend out a little bit bright and bold with these colors. So I'm okay with that. I'm just looking at each leaf and figuring out where the base of it is. Oh, and that one I had backwards. All right, there we go. All right, nothing too dramatic. And yes, Leah just summed it up. It was busy, it was exhausting. We definitely got lots done. All right, and just to make it easy, I'm gonna tape this down. Here's my little temporarily, I'm gonna use that tape. That way I know when I put the next stencil down, I kind of know which direction it's gonna go, which with this wonky cutting is actually really helpful, saving my brain a lot of unnecessary gymnastics. Wonderful, that worked perfect. Okay, so one color down, let's do purple next, why not? I do think that this was sold out, but I'm sure it's on reorder. Welcome, Deborah. Glad you could make it. And Jen, no problem. You haven't missed much. We're just kind of getting started. Um, Narissa, they are a little bit, yes, they're dye inks, so they are water reactive. All right, next I'm moving on to, let's make sure that's in view there so you can see it. Hydrangea. Hydrangea? Quite sure. I think we always said hydrangea, but I've heard it pronounced other ways, so not sure what the full-on proper way is there, but all right. Going there the right way. Again, I'm really aiming for just the base of these leaves to kind of focus my color on so that they have a little bit of gradation on the way out. Hopefully that kind of shows on there. All right. Um, Yes, and I see Leah just answered that question from Tiffany. We do have a re-inker storage coming out. Currently, I just have mine in a drawer, but they do tend to kind of want to tip over easily. So I'm looking forward to that. Sorry, just making sure I keep watching for comments along the way. All right, that was stencil 2. We're just going to move right on to stencil 3, but look how pretty and fun that's coming along already. Now we're going to add the more of those cool tones and the purples and blues. Okay, make sure that didn't shift on me while I was putting it down. Let's do some Citron. All right, just making sure I'm not missing any comments along the way. I feel like they're moving really fast today. All right, Citron. Let's add a bright pop of some color on here. I mean, the orange kind of is too, but the purple kind of muted it down. So we're going to brighten it up with that Citron. These feel like kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what to, a little bit, maybe retro vintagey colors a little, I guess. Like they could kind of fit in that, like you'd expect to see old Tupperware or something like that. All right. The stenciling on this is definitely coming together fast, so that's good. I'm glad I took the time to do the solid hot foiling, so we'll have some options there for that. Move that tape. And so fun. You know what else? I'm not going to do it today, but it would almost be fun to leave one of them uncolored, so you get kind of a different look there too. But we're going to follow up and finish with all of them because we want to see how it looks when it's all together. And we've only got one color to go. So the last one I picked was Waterfall, not Waterfall. Blah. Gotta get my brain functioning. Actually, this one's where lighter tones. Need my lighter brush for this one. All right. I was thinking it would have even been fun to add more gradation with darker colors, but I'm just gonna let this one be how it's gonna be. And this is stencil 4, which is our final stencil. And as far as like a leafy stencil goes, this is probably one of the easiest to line up. Seeing lots of chatter about the watercolors coming out. But no, we finally have that officially releasing. Okay. Ta-da! There's that last color on there. Let me pull that up so you can see. Isn't that fun? It just kind of feels like summer. I guess it feels like summer. Kind of a retro vintage summer look. I don't know, for lack of a better way to put it. So, all right, let's move that ink out of the way, move this. All right, I've got those saved. I'll put my brushes away. And then we'll pull the die cuts out for this. And we'll do a good little bit of die cutting here really quickly. I'm going to cut my stenciled image first, and then we'll switch and do the solid foiled one as well. I'm going to start with the original one and then go from there. Take a little time and get this lined up. All right. I'm going to go die cut this off camera and I will be right back. Okay, and that looks like that die cut well. I'll pull that off. I'll pop those out in just a second. Let's go ahead and die cut here. I don't know for sure if I'll use this. I might tuck some of these on, so I'm just gonna die cut them since I'm here and ready to go. Be right back. Then we'll do all of our sentiments as well. I'll do all the little additional pieces here in a few minutes, but at least get I think the sentiments I'm just gonna do with my little die cut machine. And then we can maybe make that go a little bit quicker. Where did I put? Oh, there they are. Losing my little extra pieces there. All right, and we'll cut out some extra little scraps as well, probably, to layer those up. I'm gonna take both of these down because I think we can run them through one right after the other, and then I won't have to. Let's give that a try. Someone's asking about how big. I think you're asking about the leaf die. Give me 1 second here. Let me grab, this is just an A2 card panel. So it'll kind of give you the reference that it is a pretty good size to fill most of an A2 card panel. So hopefully that, Laura, I think Laura was the one asking about that. So just to give you a quick reference point on there. Okay, and that die cut beautifully, of course. Let's get that out, and then we'll die cut the reverse one as well. Scraps there. And then we'll just let's trim these down just slightly so they fit better in our piece here for die cutting. Oops, I didn't cut that one too close. Right out all those scraps. And then I notice here, let me just cut some little pieces, get the little Chad pieces out of there. And then let's go ahead and die cut this one as well. Oops, let's do it the right side up though. That would help a little more. One sentiment and I'm taking my time there to make sure I have that lined up. There we go, that one. And that die cut beautifully. So let me move this out of the way. We'll die cut some additional little pieces here soon, but I can get to that a little later once we decide which one we're using, because I don't need to die cut all of them out. No. Pop those out right now so I don't forget. And put that back on there, and then our other sentiment there as well. Move the garbage there. Move that out of the way. And then let's pop out. Let's pull this out a little more officially. And pop those Chad pieces out of the centers where they are. And you might notice on this, I'm pretty sure it shows up well in the, maybe not in the video. There's some tiny imperfections there. I could have refoiled it, but it wasn't enough for me to worry about because if I use these, I'm probably just going to kind of tuck them behind. I'm not really going to have them all the way front and center, so I'm not super worried about those little imperfections. It's still a lot of beautiful foil that is not going to waste, which makes me very happy. All right, let's get these ones out of there as well. Going to be the main ones we're going to use. Let's pop all those same little inner Chad pieces. These are a little bit bigger, so I'll just get those with my fingers. All right, and I think, oh, there's one on there too I missed. Okay. Throw away my trash. And then look at all these fun things we have to play with now. Goodness, so many fun choices. Okay. Let me look and see real quick. And you know what, Ruth? So I don't usually ink blend on the reverse. The exception to that is I did do, what's that clear color? Hold on, I gotta look at the ink colors. Here we go. Opal foil, which is basically like a clear iridescent one. I did that on white cardstock and I did ink blend to make the other pop. That's the one time I have and it worked beautifully. So, and you could on this, but I feel like with all that dark foiling, you almost need it to be crisp and white and pop so you can see. But like I said, with the opal, it was just kind of clear on white with like some iridescence. So that made that image kind of pop out there, which was really nice. Okie dokie. So I did get a little head start on a couple things. I haven't scored and folded my card base yet, so I need to do that. But I used the Ornate rectangle frame. I already have this one die cut and layered up with a couple extra layers from Glacier glitter cardstock. And that's that very outer frame, that largest one. And then if you look, there's a middle one that I skipped. So there's two outer frames and then there's the center negative piece. So I'm using the outer and the inner, so you can kind of see that little gap there when I put these together. There's a little bit of that shows that turquoise frame around it. And then I used the Stitch Diamonds cover plate for that panel. So this part was kind of done in advance. I do need to score my card base, but I am looking at the colors and going, oh yeah, that turquoisey color is perfect for this. So let's score that card base. So we're ready to go on that. Okay. And then we just need to start adhering some of these down. Turn it over this way, I think. Nope. Okay. I'm going to trim off that little bit. Oh, magnet wants to stick. Just a little extra along the bottom. Sometimes when you score it, you're slightly off, and I don't want that to show through, so had to fix that. All right, so that frame is going to go perfectly edge to edge, just leaving a little bit showing on the corners. And I think once I glue it down, I actually might trim those little corner bits off so that the card is kind of shaped the same way. So, but first, before we get ahead of ourselves too far, let's get this glued down. That's going to take a few minutes to kind of press it into place and make sure it's fully adhered. So I want to make sure I get that done first. So a little bit of liquid glue on all of this. And then I'm going to weight it down so it has a chance to dry for a few seconds. While it does that, we'll kind of get a plan in place for what we want to do on the rest of our card. Kind of plan some layout and that sort of thing. All right. I'm going to be really careful here as I adhere this down. It does give me a little wiggle room for a second or two to get it in place with that liquid glue. And then let's just use some of our clear blocks here to make sure it's all weighted down. I should just get one, actually do it. I have one really big one. That would be easier than all the small ones, don't you think? One big card size one. I knew I kept that one for a reason. Usually I just throw all the different. Um, yes, good point on that. I actually thought the glitter cardstock was sold out and it just got restocked. All right, I think I'm gonna put that on with some thin foam. This is, I know Leah used a thinner one on her last live. This one is another one I love. I think it's that same 1 mm. It's from Simon Says Stamp. It's their Big Mama foam tape roll. It's big, but it has lasted so long because it's thinner than the average foam tape. So it's kind of a good middle ground. So I like it for when I want a little bit of dimension, but not a crazy amount. Or if I'm putting multiple layers, I can have a little bit of dimension without it being too crazy. Kind of fun to have those varying options. So, okay. Let's see if that has adhered down. I feel like that's hanging in there pretty good. All right, let's try. I might regret this, but I'm going to try and see. Yeah, I think that'll work. We're committed now, so if we don't like it, it's too late anyway. So then my card base will just be perfectly fit to that frame, which is kind of fun. All right. Catch all those little tidbits. They're going to drive me bonkers. I haven't done that before, but I kind of like, so when you look at the back, you've got these little notched edges that make it kind of fun. All right, let's get this frame adhered in the middle. That makes both of those frames almost the same depth. Off all those little backing layers. All right. Best way to clean up extra goo on the paper. Well, so sometimes it depends on the glue you use. I noticed the Barely Arts glue that we use, if there's a little bit that shows up, H Bird, if I said your name right, it dries clear and matte. It doesn't have the shine, so you can't see it. But otherwise, if you do it quick, an adhesive eraser is good. I have a couple like just gum erasers. I've also got the little Altenew one that works really well. I've actually found I really like that one for overfoiling lately. So that's a great option there. But if you get some good glue, I just gave you all a heart attack, Julie. I must have missed. You're gonna have to tell me how I gave you a heart attack. I think I'm still suffering a little bit from jet lag, so you'll have to forgive me being a little. Oh, good. For a second, I suddenly thought, although it wouldn't have mattered yet anyway. I thought I had my card base upside down, but that would have been okay. Chop, chop. Oh, cutting the corners. Okay, good. I get it now. I wasn't too worried. Worst case, I would have just cut a little past it and then put it on a fresh card base and it would have been okay. One thing I can tell though is gotta be careful here. Okay. I felt like my card front was wanting to kind of glue. Peanut, yes, that foam tape is thinner. Let me see if I can, I don't know if it'll fully show it, but let me compare it to just my normal Scotch foam tape. Let's see if I can put those side by side. Hopefully you can kind of see the difference. I believe it's 1 mm and this I think is 3 mm, which isn't a huge difference, but it does add up. If you add multiple layers, you're going to get less height if you don't want so big and bulky. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of dimension there. And this out here is glitter paper with 2 layers of just plain white cardstock. And it ends up being about flush with that. So putting that on there equivalates, is that even a word? is the equivalent of um, the 3 layers of cardstock there. All right, we are ready to continue on here and finish our card. Oh my goodness, this is already just so pretty. I can't quite get enough. I think I'm just gonna kind of line up. Actually gonna a little bit follow the plan of how it shows from the mock-up there. And then, and this is where I think, oh yes, definitely the reverse sentiment there. And then I have to decide, do I want to tuck my reverse foiled under there and just have it slightly peek out? You know, I actually do kind of like that a little bit. I wasn't sure if I would. That's that a little bit too. That does actually kind of make everything pop a little bit. Yeah, I definitely like the reverse sentiment on there. And I really think I'm going to put both on there. And then tuck that in there. And then our reverse sentiment. And then we'll just add a little bit of bling. And this card is going to work really well. And then I have some extra sentiments too. All right, so first things first, I'm going to glue these together and then adhere them on because I think I might use a little bit of foam on some places. So I'm just going to adhere these together kind of at the base of each of the leaves. That way it's not a crazy amount of adhesive, but it'll hold them kind of in place together. All right. Gonna pick where we want to put that. Slight angle there. Slide it around till we're happy. I think like that. Okay. And then let's get a little bit of glue off of there. We'll let that dry for a few seconds and then we'll kind of curl up some of the edges a little bit. All right, same thing on this one. Do a little bit of an offset as well. Let that one dry. Clean off the glue again there. And then that final one also. This will be the easiest one because one little dot of glue should do it. Oops. And I said that and then I totally slipped it off. So I proved that theory wrong. Okay. Grab a little bit of alcohol there. Get any of that extra glue off of my mat. I feel like it's fun to have ways to use the solid foil plate because sometimes it feels like a lot and I don't always want to put it on everything, but all right, while those dry a smidge, still found a little more adhesive on here. I'll clean this better afterwards. But let's use some scraps of cardstock real quick here and die cut a little bit. Let's see, trying to find a good scrap. This one will be bigger. Let's see if that'll work. Did I get a couple extra? Yep, that is perfect. Then we can layer up that sentiment a little bit and make it a little more sturdy. Nope. There's a little extra. Let's get that inner chat out there. Peanut candy necklaces. That's kind of a fun, that might be it. I just kind of pulled some because nothing was overlapping. So it was kind of fun just to not have to think about, okay, what colors would work well together, if that makes sense. I could just pick, I mean, well, like next to each other, but not like you had to think so much. Oops. Ran into my drawer down next to me that I didn't see was open. You don't have to think about what's going to work for overlapping in that whole color theory. Like if you put purple over green, it'll make ugly brown, you know? It was nothing was overlapping. So you could just kind of put colors that would look fun next to each other. So, all right, let's get these adhered together since we're already waiting for those to dry a smidge more. I think we're getting really close, but might as well let these start drying while we move on to the next thing. Oops. Just realized I missed. Oops, wrong side. I should know that. Um, oh, Ruth, absolutely. Yes. I think everyone thinks we make a complete card in an hour, but there's a lot of prep and thought. I mean, you saw I had all of these kind of die cut and planned out. I had my colors picked. I'd chosen what foil I was going to use. I sort of had an idea of how I was going to lay things out. Some of it's just like you might not know, am I going to use the solid foil plate or am I not gonna? But it that's a minor change. And sometimes it comes out very different than we planned. But we definitely have done some initial thought into it by the time because I don't generally start to finish. And maybe some cards I can make in an hour, but overall, I feel like there's more thought that goes into that. All right. I just got to get that glue off of there or it's going to drive me bonkers. Probably still don't have it all, but it's a little bit better. Thank you, Tina. I'm glad. And there's times where we do a live and we kind of finish and go, well, it's not our favorite card ever, but it's a card. All right, let's kind of curl up some of these edges a little. I'm going to kind of separate some of the stencil ones and pop them up a little from the foiled ones just to give a little more dimension and interest. Since they're kind of glued down by the base, that's a pretty easy thing to do. And then it helps that foiling from underneath kind of pop out and show a little bit more as well. All right, let's see. A couple more up here. Okay. I think that got all of those. Look at how pretty that dimension then with that popping out. That really does something to the finished layering of these. Okay, same on this one. And then let's get that glue back out and start getting those in place. Same thing, I'm not going to worry about too much glue, just kind of some at the base of things. Right. I kind of want to get so that the stems are fully over on the side there. Ah, I love that. Love all that dimension. I really love putting the additional foil underneath. That was a really fun addition. So wasn't quite sure because sometimes I love that, sometimes I don't. All right, where did I put? There it is. That other little tiny leaf that over there. It look like he's just kind of sliding in there from the side. All right. Then we just need to pop this one. I might just pop that. So this is going to be a dimensional card. So we really did thin foam adhesive here. So I guess I shouldn't feel too bad but I'm going to add a little bit more foam adhesive here on the sentiment because part of it I'm going to let overlap there. So really I only need to do it from this part over. So shouldn't be too bad. It's not going to be a ridiculous amount of foam adhesive. And I've got 3 layers stacked together, so it's pretty stable. should be easy. I'm trimming little tiny pieces and I gotta focus, so bear with me a minute here while I get all of that adhered down. And then we'll just pull some form of bling out, I don't know what yet, and add some final embellishments. Okay, I think that's enough to stick on there. And just to make sure, I'm gonna add a little liquid glue on top of the foam and also where it overlaps the leaves there, just so we make sure it holds and is stable. All right. Make sure it's level. Adhere that down. And almost done. Oh, Alicia, you absolutely can rewatch. All right, now I gotta grab my bling and we'll pick what we're gonna add on here. Romaine, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the first one here. So hang on and don't leave yet because I still have to add some sparkle and then Leah will be announcing today's winner. So don't leave too soon. This is where everyone always says they get bling envy because got all my sparkle in here, but I'm debating on, let me have it here. I'm thinking about, oh yeah, this is 100%. This is an easy one. We're gonna do butterscotch glitter drop because look how perfect that matches that foiling. I don't know if it shows in person, or I know it shows in person. I don't know if it shows on the screen, but hopefully you can see just how great those match together. So we'll just tuck a few of those strategically on here. And then we'll announce a winner and let everyone get out and get on with their day. All right. See how long it takes me to figure out where to put these. Speaking of adhesive, I can see one little spot there there we go. I think I had a little residual adhesive on my fingers and I had a little gunk there, so we fixed that. All right, let's decide. I'm kind of thinking little trios around the side here, around the sentiment are gonna be great. I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. All right. One more little bitty one there. And then I'm just gonna ponder for a second. This is where the overthinking will come on. No, they really just don't show up on anywhere else on there. So wait on if we want to tack a few randoms in a few little tiny spots. I'm gonna see if that looks like too much because we've got a lot going on with the foil. I don't know, actually that doesn't look too bad. Is there such a thing as too much foil? I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like it kind of balances it out. So I think I'm just going to go with it and put them on there. I'll start with these ones. If you guys think it's ridiculous, I'll remove those other ones and just leave the ones around the sentiment. Although in a Pinkfresh life, if anyone says it's ridiculous and there's too much sparkle, I will be surprised. Okay, I'm seeing everyone just go for the bling, so I'm going to do it. We're going to commit and stick those down. Okay, we did it. I could probably add more, but I do realize that there is a time when you kind of have to quit, so. And Cheryl, our friend Cheryl on our design team, will be very happy to know that my overall number is 11. So I have an odd number on here. We were having a whole discussion about, for her, it has to be odd numbers overall. And I always figure 3 and 3 is 2 odd numbers, but she has to do 3 and 2. So I've balanced out here so that there's a total of 11. So we've got odd numbers. I wish you guys could see how sparkly and shiny and everything this is in real life, but super fun. And we got done right on time today. So I did the perfect amount of prep to get everything done. So I'm going to switch the camera around and give Leah a minute to go ahead and announce today's winner. And also check if there are any final comments that I missed or questions. Alicia, yes, those are, you can find those in our shop. Those are our triangle trays. They're made out of brass, so they're good and sturdy. They work great for sliding things back in. So you can check those out. I don't remember if they're in stock or not, but we do generally carry them. Thank you, thank you. And Tiffany's like, she's with Cheryl. So we just had to, with Cheryl, we had to agree to disagree, and that's okay. That's where different opinions all come in. All right, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the comments, and there I see Leah has picked today's winner. Congratulations to Ruth Gauss or Gauss. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your last name, so I apologize if I said it wrong. But congratulations, you won today's $15 gift card. The info is in that comment to claim your prize. Email Leah at pinkfreshstudio.com. Her name has no H on it, it's just Lea. And give her 2 to 3 business days to get back to you, so a little later this week. And she'll get that sent your way, and you can go have fun shopping. All right. And Vicky, yes, I actually have 3 of them because I often use 3 colors of bling on my cards and they fit together so beautifully. So, all right, I am even letting you guys out a couple minutes early. So thank you again so much for joining us today. This is our only live this week. We'll be back Leah will be back next week. I'll be gone on vacation still. So I'll be out of commission for that one. And then the following week, I believe, is our sneak peek live for our May release. So I'll see you in a couple weeks. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys soon.